Hey, what is up, pandas? This is Robi D, or Robi Domingo, your WWF Philippines National Youth Ambassador, and I welcome you to another learning-filled episode of Sustainably Yours, Robi. Now, this is WWF Philippines' latest series aiming to help us learn and switch to a sustainable lifestyle through simple and actionable eco-friendly activities that we can do in our daily routine. My question is, game ka na ba? So for this episode, let's talk about food waste. The norm when dealing with food waste is to gather them in plastic bags or bins and have them hauled by dump trucks to the nearest landfill where they are mixed with all sorts of trash. This also happens to be the easiest and most effortless way to pollute our soil and air. Alam nyo, nakakalungkot din dahil minsan kahit isegregate po natin yung mga basura natin sa ating mga tahanan, may mga instances where they all end up in the same truck, in the same pile, mixed with all sorts of trash. At isa sa mga maaari natin gawin to prevent food waste and lessen greenhouse gas emissions ay composting. I find composting interesting because it turns something usually considered waste into a valuable resource. Pero aminin po natin na medyo intimidating to compost on our own dahil we have to figure out where to store our food scraps, what food scraps can go into the compost system, at how to contain any odors and pests. And to help us kickstart our composting journey, that is right, let's call on Miss Rina Papio, Chief Soilmate of Green Space. We got Miss Rina, hello?
Hi, Robi! And hello sa lahat ng nanonood ng Sustainably Yours, Robi. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Ito talaga yung isa sa mga gustong ma-achieve ng green space, yung pag-usapan ng mas marami pang tao ang food waste. We want food waste to be part of our daily conversations kasi daily meron tayong food waste. But if we start changing the way we treat our food waste, and each one of us make composting an integral part of our daily lives, it is such a regenerative process. From landfillers, we will become land healers. There are two sides to every story, and the same applies to food waste. Merong source and merong destination. We need to see what's happening at the source, which means our kitchens. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. Paano ba mag-bokashi composting? Then I will share a glimpse of what's happening sa destination. So paano ba mag-compost? There are different ways to compost. What matters is finding the method that suits you, your household, your business, or your lifestyle. In Green Space, we teach about a simple method called Bokashi composting. Bokashi is a Japanese term which means fermented organic matter. The key to Bokashi composting is anaerobic fermentation. Fermentation na nangyayari sa loob ng isang tightly sealed bucket. It is this fermentation stage that sets Bokashi composting different from other composting methods. The acidity or pH drop during fermentation prevents rotting. Kaya wala siyang mabahong amoy and it will not attract pests. Two things people commonly worry about composting and about food waste in general. The solution that we offer is a switch from garbage bags to buckets so we can use food waste to feed the soil and regenerate the planet. You can always make your own Bokashi composting bucket. Ang importante, it has a tight cover. For Green Space, our buckets are made by our partner Sentinel Upcycling. Sentinel keeps plastic away from landfills and oceans by turning them into useful products such as chairs, crates, pallets, and for our composting buckets, they made the cover from 100% upcycled plastic bags. Soon enough, we will be having buckets that are made from 100% upcycled plastics. Ang galing, di ba? Sentinel keeps plastic away from landfills and oceans, turn them into buckets, which we will use to keep food waste away from landfills and oceans. Sounds sustainable, right? What comes crucial for Bokashi composting is the Bokashi bran. The beneficial microbes in the Bokashi brand are the ones responsible for the fermentation process. So Green Space makes high-quality Bokashi bran by fermenting rice bran and carbonized rice hull using a superior quality microbial inoculant called EM1. A handful of your Bokashi bran contains lots of beneficial microorganisms. There's a new but simple skill you need to learn for Bokashi composting, and that is the art of layering food waste in your composting buckets. Simple because of the fact that all food waste can be added. Yung raw fruits, vegetable scraps, mga tirang pagkain pagkatapos kumain, including meat and dairy. There's no need to sort through your food waste. There's no need to leave anything behind. Just toss everything into your bucket and layer it with bran. Pero composting should never be your license to waste food, ha? Hindi dahil nag-compost sa bahay, pwede nang palaging magtira. Let us still be mindful when we purchase, prepare, and consume food. Again, we say it's simple, it may not be that easy, pero simula lang yun. Sanayan lang yan, and it's only a matter of time you would master the art of layering food waste and bran into your composting buckets. To help you master this art of layering, you have to get into a daily food waste routine. Have a strainer on standby in the kitchen or in the office pantry. Put it somewhere by the sink. Why? Kasi we want less liquid going into our composting bucket. So we have to strain our food waste. Or if you have extra ice cream tubs at home, turn them into temporary 3-in-1 collection bin. First, it can serve as a strainer. Second, it will serve as temporary storage. You can put all your food waste for the day in the ice cream tub. By the end of the day, toss your food waste into your bucket. Layer it with bran. This way, you only need to open your bucket once a day. So less air goes into the bucket, which helps in the anaerobic fermentation process. Third, the ice cream tub also serves as a measuring device. Sprinkle every tub of food waste with Bokashi bran. A handful is more than enough, and you will only need to add more when there's meat in your food waste. With this, you have a guide that the layers are not too thick and there's enough microbes to work around the food waste that you put in. Do this every day until your bucket is full. On average, a household of 4 will fill up a bucket in about 2 weeks. So that's about 12 kilograms of food waste you get to keep away from the landfill. For smaller households, we have mini composting buckets that can fit around 8 kilograms of food waste. If there's anything you need to seriously learn, it's understanding the smell of fermentation. Starting with your Bokashi bran, it will have a sweet, sour smell, think vinegar. Once you start collecting in your bucket should have that same fermented, close to vinegar smell. Not that gusto nating mga may suka, pero pag walang Bokashi bran, you could end up with putrefying waste smells, yung amoy ng nabubulok na basura. And of course, we don't want that. So let your nose be your guide. The moment your bucket smells bad, it means that you need to adjust something. It could be a sign that your bucket is too moist, so you have to add in layers that can absorb excess moisture, such as shredded paper or egg cartons, or maybe you need to put more Bokashi bran and have thinner layers. As an added benefit, from the day you start collecting food waste into your bucket, make sure to check for Bokashi juice every 2 to 3 days by draining your bucket through the spigot. This Bokashi juice is full of beneficial microorganisms which you can use at home by pouring it into your sink and drains. You may also use the Bokashi juice for your plants. As shown in the photo, see how the plants has grown 1 month after applying the Bokashi juice into the soil. It's really amazing how you make the soil teeming with microbial life. So if you are a plantito or plantita, your plants are going to love this and they will be proud that you are composting for them. Now, where will your food waste go? Definitely not to the landfill. And while food waste going to the landfill causes pollution, food waste made in the compost is a source of nutrition. It builds healthy soil. It could happen in your own garden. You could dig a pit or prepare giant pots or garden beds. Bury your fermented food waste in soil and let nature do its work. Mix or layer a bucket of food waste to about 3 buckets of soil to make sure that there's enough soil microbes to work and finish the decomposition. You could also set up your own soil factory by layering your food waste with soil in a plastic bin or an old laundry basket. Again, the key is in layers. Layers of soil and fermented food waste, even dried leaves if you have them. Remember that it's the soil microbes that will finish the job. Now, in case you're unable to compost, Book a Bucket is a composting service we provide to those who need it. Book a Bucket is the core of green space. Many of us can compost on our own, and we welcome that and support that. But in this urban jungle, where we are mostly surrounded by pavements, where people are challenged in terms of space and time, yet they're very much willing and are actually looking for ways, no matter how small, to contribute to making this world a better place. You want to tell them, hey, learn about the Bokashi way, put your food waste in a bucket, layer it with bran, then book a bucket exchange and we'll take care of the rest. This is what being a Soilmate is all about. You do your best in collecting your food waste, and we will fulfill our end with a composting service. With this service, your food waste will go to a composting site like Luntiang Bakuran located in Plaridel, Bulacan, a project of the Rotary Club of Plaridel and Green Ants Builders. Kung ang buckets natin ay gawa sa upcycled plastics, ang composting kits sa Luntiang Bakuran ay gawa rin sa upcycled plastics. Sachets that would have ended in landfills are turned into green construction materials such as bricks and pavers by Green Ants. Compost made from all the food waste we collected from our clients made the soil in the farm healthy and full of nutrients. Now, whether you choose to do it on your own or subscribe to the Book a Bucket service, consider composting your investment to the future and your role in the planet's regeneration. You also have a chance to help communities who are growing their gardens through the Bran Aid program. When it's time to replenish your bran, I invite you to choose Bran Aid instead. So instead of buying a single bag, you buy a bag and give one to our partner communities in Payatas and Bagong Silangan in Quezon City under the Food Today, Food Tomorrow program. This way, we help the communities with their community composting. Hindi na nila kailangan alalahanin ng Bokashi brand nila. We will provide them with bran, and all they need to do is focus on properly composting their food waste and growing their microgardens. Excited na ba kayong mag-compost? I'm sure excited and ready na si Robi mag-umpisa. Mas lalo pang mapapadali with the Soilmate mobile app. But I will let Robi tell you more about it. For now, let me end by saying that whenever we send our food waste to the landfill, we are throwing away a valuable resource that can help build soil. So it's time to make a change. Put this in your important and urgent list. From landfillers, let us all become land healers. Be our Soilmate and let's heal this planet. Maraming salamat!
Well, that was really great. Maraming salamat po, Miss Rina, for teaching us to jumpstart our Bokashi composting journey. Galing, no? Well, excited na ako sa mga ganyang pagkakataon at very excited na ako na gawin yan sa ating mga tahanan. Well, for us who want to start Bokashi composting but do not have the luxury of time, huwag po kayong mag-aalala dahil WWF Philippines' The Sustainable Diner Project and Green Space joined forces to work on the Soilmate project, which aims to divert unavoidable organic wastes from the landfills to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and build healthy soil by connecting businesses and individuals like us to a composting subscription service through a mobile application called Soilmate na available for download sa ating mga smartphones. You can just go to Play Store or App Store, look for Soilmate, and that's available. Literal po, pandas. Nasa kamay po natin ang solusyon to minimize food waste. Just look for this logo. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and please stay tuned to WWF Philippines' social media pages for more tips to help us on our journey to switching to a more sustainable lifestyle. Ako po si Robi Domingo, your WWF Philippines National Youth Ambassador, now signing off. And please join me again next week for another fun episode of Sustainably Yours, Robi. And let's change the ending for our one and only planet. Remember, together possible, together sustainable.